I'm Rikke Stoltz. I live here on Frederiksberg. I have a background from Maersk, so I have a corporate background, and then I've done about 7 different startups. Some of them being very successful and some of them being less successful. Yeah. The biggest success I've done was a startup where we were 2 people that actually managed to build what became the world's largest wind farm installation vessels. So that was a big success from 2 people with an idea and with an ambition to change the whole industry and actually succeeding with that. Today the company has created a lot of Danish employment and it's still the largest wind farm installation company. So that was a big success. It's registered on the stock exchange today also. And then I have had other businesses, very small. I have my oldest business is actually to promote Danish culture through these Christmas hearts, which I made a company where I tried to share the tradition with the whole world. So that's very much a hard project, and that's a success in itself as well, but not as much on the financial side. And then there are others. I've run TEDx Frederiksberg, for example, which is a forhindring, a corporation where I try to give a stage to people who would otherwise not be heard. So I run a very large team of volunteers where we do a yearly event where we then tape TED Talks, which are uploaded on the TED.com platform and shared with the whole world. So things like that, it's a very different project. I span pretty wide.
You also have this Institute for Life Quality.
Yeah. Actually, I use that mostly to help people who cannot pay for my services. So you can actually apply and get my help, for example, if you need help with starting up and you don't have funds. Then I tried, actually it's a little bit of a small philanthropy for myself that I then say, okay, I can help you and help you so you don't have to pay very much for my help. I was with Maersk almost 11 years, including being stationed in Switzerland and Brazil for them, so it was a fairly long time. But I think the reason for me leaving Maersk was mostly because of private reason. I decided to get married to an American man, and we decided to change our life a little bit. We both have had some ambition. He wanted to have an MBA, and I wanted to have my own company. So he was with Maersk as well. So we decided to change our life, and I think it was a good time because it was 10 years, so it's solid enough to have the real corporate experience, and it gave me a really good base for working in a structured manner. So I think you can of course do startups. A lot of women, you could do startups without any corporate experience, and that's fine. But for me, it has helped me be more structured. And I think for me it works really well to design a life where I can do different things throughout the year and work with different people and still be able to make a living. I think a lot of people today, now myself included, we like to work a little bit like freelancers or to do our own companies and kind of weave a pattern of interesting things into our life. I think that's what is possible right now in these times, and very much also for women. If you have to take care for small children at the same time, and you still want to earn an income, and you want to be creative and do stuff, that's a perfect way to kind of weave different projects into your life. Where I sit and work from the computer. This is not where I sit when I speak with clients, but this is my little corner of the world. And it's amazing, isn't it, also when you do startups, that you can reach the whole world from your computer. So even though you're just sitting in a little corner in your apartment, you can easily speak with anyone. I have the little dog, and he's very good. So if I get stressed, I can spend a little time with him, and that's very good advice actually, because it can get quite stressful if you're busy and if you're trying to build something, to have an animal around yourself. Yeah.
Is the office your home?
That is my home.
Yeah. So you have consultancy here, for example,
yes.
where we are sitting right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there I have wonderful conversation in these two chairs. Like today.
Yeah. So that's also good advice for people if they want to start. Maybe not to have so much money spent on offices, they can do it from home, or maybe they can go to a cafe or whatever.
When I started my different projects, I hired people to do websites and stuff, and which is fine. It's more expensive. It depends on how much money you have. Now I've trained myself to do most of the work. And again, I think nowadays it's amazing what you can do yourself if you want. There are so many YouTube videos. There's so many different venues for getting education for free. So it's just about to start doing something. I use AI a lot. So I have an AI assistant for each project with their own tone of voice and with all the company files, the different colors, the style, everything, the business plan, the pictures, everything is in under each assistant. So I can just ask the assistant to do something for me, and it works. It delivers much better than I can myself. I make sure that always to review very detailed. I don't believe in using AI to just quickly produce something and shoot it out. So I spend some things. I think that's where the combination of human intelligence and the tools is wonderful. Never use the tools without really looking at it yourself, I think.
In your company, you do everything yourself?
Yes.
So you have the skills for...
No, I hire people. Yeah. I have factories in China, and I hire people also in Denmark to help me collect the boxes, some of the gift boxes. So I hire a graphic designer, I hire assistants for websites, I hire logistic company. So you're right, I have a lot of assistants, but all of them are contractors. I don't have employees.
And the companies you're working the most of your time with now, what company is that?
That is the heart company, Ugly Duckli.
Okay.
Yeah. It's right now, it's as we are speaking, it's end of March, so I'm preparing everything for Christmas right now. I have a very busy rest of the year ahead of me, I think. Yeah. I only sell online now.
Online.
I used to sell through shops, but I've just decided that to take it back and only do online sales and have the high margin and less sales. So it's actually a decision I made because I wanted to be even more flexible. So first of all, it's just myself. And second of all, everything is within my own control. So I'm able to travel, I'm able to do the other projects at the same time. So it's very much by design.
Yeah.
This is one of our products. And this product is actually part of a green transition project. We moved the production of everything for this product from Asia to Denmark. So I'm very proud that we actually have some production in Denmark also, because that's quite rare. So nowadays, this main product for the Ugly Duckli company is the parts to weave these Christmas hearts. And all all the parts of the product. You can see there's a welcome note, there are instructions in Danish and English, and then there's these templates so that you can do this. So I've prepared this package as a representative gift from Denmark with everything included, so that it's really good for foreigners and also for Danes, of course, but to get a feel for something that's authentically Danish and made in Denmark. So I'm very proud of this because we don't produce so many products and gift articles in Denmark, and this is a quite special example. Yeah. So I hire women actually to sit out here. We have a big location out in our yard, and then I take 10 women at a time, and if you can imagine, in the end, the one person starts doing the box, collecting the box, and then the next person puts something in it, and there we go, and the last person makes the top and puts it together and pack. So we have a little bit of a transportation. It sounds a little bit crazy, but it's very unique and very special, and I'm very proud of this product. It's probably the product I'm the most proud of. It's close to my heart. I don't believe we should just do a lot of products and keep growing and wanting more and all that. I'm part of that group of people that believes that we should rather reuse things. So I try to rather sell less and sell quality things that hopefully can be used again and again. And I also want to move production of things to Denmark, so we don't have the transportation and the pollution from that. When you do online business, one of the biggest problems is also that you have perhaps boxes that are too large when you send out. So when you have your online shop and you send the packages, if there's a lot of empty space, that's going to take up space on the truck. And it's going to take up space with the post office, it's going to take up space everywhere, and it's going to cost a lot more. So for example, I try to package everything in just as small as I can and use the best transportation method I can.
Yeah. What about the other projects you have in products you have in Ugly Duckli?
They are made in China because that's the only way I can be competitive.
Yeah.
But I have personally visited the factory several times, so I know that everything is taken care of. It's done in a proper way. They are quite considered people, and they're nice to work with. This business relationship with this one factory where these things are made has been from the whole duration of the company, 25 years. I think it's very rare that you have the same relationship with the factory all that time. Yes, because the things that I produce with Ugly Duckli is brass ornaments, and there you have the materials going into to these different baths with chemicals. So actually that's quite dangerous. Also in terms of how you treat the chemicals afterwards, so you do the products, and there's a lot of potential ways you could get hurt. So you need to make sure that you choose a place that's operating in the right way. I don't produce brochures and hand out and stuff because we can do everything online. A lot of meetings are done online again because we don't have to transport ourselves. We don't have to perhaps fly to somebody in a different country. We can do it online. And that's part of sustainability as well, I think. So actually sometimes people think sustainability, that's only about doing green energy or doing these things, but I think it's also about how you act on a daily basis. For example, the thing about not printing brochures and just spreading them, and that's a waste of trees. So small things like that. I mean, it's a small consultancy company, so there's not so many things, but on a base level, that's what I do.
anything from the Danish government or from the EU system?
I've had very little actually, to be honest, because I've been self-funded mostly. I've had the, what's it called? SMV Green?
Grønne, SMV Grønne.
Yeah, and that actually helped me move the production from Asia to Denmark. And then I had some, that's a different company. I have a company called Green Heart Copenhagen, which is hemp products, CBD, the CBD cannabis business. And there I got assistance to make online courses and to write a book about hemp, which has become popular now. And I've been in 3 accelerators actually. I've been in the cannabis accelerator in Odense. I've been in the beyond beta. And then I've been in Nordic Adequates for Women, which is a business mentoring program, which is really, really perhaps one of the front leaders in Denmark, and where we even get to the point of writing a business plan vetted for investors. So these are very, very different ways to use accelerators, but there's a lot of guidance out there. But obviously, the results is always what you put in yourself. So I only participate in something if I'm actually gonna really do my best. And I recommend that to everyone. If you sign up for an accelerator program, or if you sign up for government support, put a lot of effort into it, get the most out of it, and then it's gonna work.
How is your a normal day in your life as an entrepreneur?
Well, I'm an A-type person, so I get up early, and I walk the dog. I like to exercise a bit, and I like to make my coffee in this kitchen. So I have early days, and then I also have early afternoons. So if I don't have something pressing, I usually end my day at 2 or 3. So I protect my hours from 8 till 10, because that's always where I get the most done, early in the day. So anything deep or something strategic or things I have to think about, I always do very early in the day, and then later I can do the perhaps appointments or more like brainstorming or cozy. So I actually have an online calendar where you can also book conversations with me, Calendly, and that's only open till 3 o'clock. Yeah. I'm very protective of my time. But from 10 till 2, that's usually my open window for calling me or for appointments. I only go into projects that my heart is in. For example, when I made the shipping company, the wind farm installation company, it was a little bit difficult for me because that is an industry that's based on subsidies. So for me, I don't want to enter an industry only based on subsidies. But the founder, he then said, well, the whole mission of that company is to change the industry so that it's not depending on subsidies anymore, because we're going to build vessels that are so large so they could work like workhorses, and then we could get the price for installation down, and then we could be very much part of moving the industry so not be depending on subsidies. And that is a mission for me. That's really, really important when I speak about green energy or the green transition. That is the way we need, because it has to be able to stand on its own feet. So I want to get involved in businesses and initiatives that can stand on its own feet. And then I want to be involved in initiatives that moves my heart in some way. It doesn't matter if it's just a little paper heart, but if I see the paper heart and I see a smile on a person, and I see that can make a little bit of a difference to someone in the world, or have that experience, that is just as important as building these huge vessels. I'm taking the luxury of going where my heart tells me to. And I think perhaps it's a little bit, sounds fluffy and it sounds a little bit like a female whatever. But I think that's just as good a reason as any. But I'm not driven 100% by money. No, not anymore. I lived abroad for 18 years and I married a foreigner, an American, and I wanted to bring a little chunk of Denmark to the States. So I decided to make a shell of a company. I decided to make the brand Ugly Duckli, and I didn't know which product was going to be in the brand. So I hired a graphic designer, I hired a marketing person to help me say, well, Rikke, if you want a piece of Denmark with you to the States, what should it be called? Which colors should it have? Which kind of feel is kind of matching your personality and stuff? And then we ended up with the Ugly Duckli, with a reference to the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, the Ugly Duckling. And also a reference to me feeling like an ugly duckling quite often. Hopefully, I'm almost there as a swan. So we decided that was a really good personal fit for me for a lifestyle company. And then it was almost a coincidence that it was Christmas, and we had foreigners visiting us in Copenhagen. My ex-husband and I, and we had these Christmas hearts on the Christmas tree, and they thought it was really special, and I was like, what, you know? And I'm not even a Christmas person at all. So, but then I thought I was looking for some product nobody else did. I was looking for something I could protect somehow, and I was looking for something that was not too capital expensive to invest in. And then I thought, well, nobody's ever done Christmas hearts as far as I know. let me make this into a big thing and let me share it with the world. And I had been working in shipping for a long time, and I was a little bit tired of all these rusty containers. So I thought, oh my God, perhaps I could create a company and I could try to do flashy brochures and website and set up a production, and I could be the client ordering the container instead of being the one delivering the service. So I did that. In my experience, I don't work less hours because I start for myself. Some people may, but maybe that would be more if you purchase an established business. And then you know, okay, there are opening hours, this is the system and stuff. But if you're in the startup world and you constantly come up with new projects like I do, there's no set number of hours, you can always do better. So you have to hold yourself back and then say, okay, what will work in my life? I don't have kids and I don't have a big family at home I need to care for. So I can be much more flexible. It's extremely stressful. And I think you really need to try to be smart about money, to get yourself a budget and to decide how much risk are you going to take instead of just, going ahead and hoping for the best, because hoping for the best is not a strategy, right? I think there are many ways to support yourself. First of all, a lot of people like myself have downgraded my life. I have made sure I live in a very cheap apartment. I have a very small car. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes and things like that. And that allows me to do all these projects. Because if I had a very high standard of living, I would be even more stressed.
Rikke, now we're here in the beautiful park. Is this also a place where you often come?
Yes, I come here every day. We walk through the park and I do a lot of walk and talks through the park as well.
So it's not only for resting, it's also for working?
It's very much for working. Yeah. I love this Frederiksberg Park. Yeah. Well, COVID actually brought us much more digital, a lot of us, and also me, Because I think in the past I used to travel much more and I used to meet people much more, and now with COVID, because we couldn't do that, we had to teach ourselves to become digital and electronic, and I think that's something nice that's come out of the pandemic actually. It was a disadvantage because I like to travel to some of my suppliers in Switzerland or in Asia. But that was all. I think for me it was about 50-50. I was okay. I think it was much more difficult for people with children and family life. Everything is much more digital. So, and I meet a lot with people online instead of in person. So the business changed a lot, even for small startups like mine.
And those changes, did you keep on having them, or did you go back to before?
No, I kept them. And actually it provides a lot of flexibility now, because you save a lot of time when you don't have to travel to meet. It's still nice to meet physically in person sometimes, but not all the time. So I think a lot of good changes have come out of the pandemic actually.
When you started Stoltz ApS, what challenges did you have?
Mostly to show people I'm here.
Yeah.
Because usually if people look me up or in my network, they're used to me only doing projects myself. So I have to be in some networking groups and stuff and tell them that you are actually able to get my help if you want. And I like that. I usually pick at least one woman that I mentor each year. Traditionally it's been from the shipping industry, so it's been perhaps young women in corporate, but it may as well could be also women in startups. I think it's very competitive, and I think it's very difficult to know who you match with if you need help from someone. I often have a coach myself. And I also find it difficult to see who should help me on different stages. So I think it's about asking for references, asking within your network who knows about somebody or something, because I think the personal references are so much more important than looking up on the internet. So most people who come to me, almost everyone, it's because they've heard about me from somebody I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a website, it's called Stoltz DK. And I'm very transparent. I even have my pricing there, so I don't, if people come to me, they have to look at that before, because I don't want to start talking about that when we meet. So, but it's only network. I don't advertise at all. No. I don't, and it's also because I can do the work with the other projects.
Yeah.
So for me, it's actually that I'm trying to. I'm happy to help people, but I'm not gonna push it too much. It's more if somebody sees me or can see a reason or how I can help them or something. I'm happy to do it, but it's not my primary. The companies I have now, because I'm a bit older myself, are lifestyle companies. They're not meant to be sold. They will live with me. They are my vision. I'm happy someday when I will not be here to pass it on to somebody, but they will not be sold.
What is your products or services in that company?
It's myself and my network of contacts.
Yeah.
So people are able to hire me to get clear about their own vision, to get advice on how to practically go about setting up a business, and maybe help them write a business plan, maybe help them identify risk factors. So basically, I can be hired on an hourly basis to help, and I do that for women especially because I have so much experience from these 7 companies. So it's not just that I tried one thing. I've actually tried a lot of different things. The oldest I have is Ugly Duckli, which is from 2001.
Yeah.
So that was when I left Maersk. So it's close to 25 years old now.
Yeah.
That's the experience you're getting in the consulting business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what if somebody wanted to make their own consultancy company and they have no references?
Yeah.
Because they are starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for that?
Well, probably do some free work and get some references.
Yeah.
Offer yourself out there, because you're not going to go out there and charge a humongous fee for somebody who doesn't know what you're doing. You need references. And it can be also character references. You can have somebody in your network or some places you have worked before that can say, well, that is a person that's structured, that means well, that's authentic, and you can start with that. And then I would offer some, if not free consulting, I would do some very cheap with a big rebate or something to start getting in some work, and then saying, well, perhaps if we work like that, perhaps you can help me out with the reference. I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your biggest success in Stoltz ApS?
I think it's a woman that almost gave up corporate life, that I helped get her life back on track. It's 5 years ago or something, and we worked together. Actually, I think we only met 3 times, but I was able to help her identify all the good things she loved about her existing job, and she didn't have to change her life around. Because sometimes you don't have to change your life. Sometimes you can have your job, and then maybe you can still try some startups at the same time. Because there's no reason to tear down everything and then put so much pressure on yourself to have to start from scratch with no money and nothing, and everything is new, and maybe even in a new industry. Perhaps do it a little bit in next to what you're already doing, and then as you are successful, you can develop it into full time. So I think for me it was a big success. So that actually she is very happy. She's a big star now today. It's not my credit, but I think it was played a role for her. Yeah.
Rikke, here at the end of this serial, I would like to ask you something about how do you see the future for female entrepreneurs?
Well, unfortunately, not much has happened for many years. Actually, in terms of financing, venture financing, we're still at about 2% of funding to female entrepreneurs, and that's of course ridiculous. Something needs to happen. There's been a lot of ideas, a lot of initiatives and stuff, but if we look at it, it hasn't changed anything. So I'm not a person normally supporting quotas for diversity or for females, but I think it's the only way to go. I think it's just laughable that you can have a situation where 2% of financing goes to female-led ventures. Yeah. That's just ridiculous. There's no way anyone can defend that. So even though I don't like quotas, I don't see any other way around it.
And what about the EU? I know they have some different, some special programs just for female entrepreneurs.
I have looked into it, and there's a lot of good guidance and courses and things, but I believe that if a venture and a business is to be successful, it has to be able to live on its own. So it doesn't help just to get funding to survive and take new courses all the time. You have to have a professional business, and the funding has to go into the business so that the business becomes profitable in itself. So I think a lot of the programs are really good, but we need programs also that's actually supporting the venture capital into companies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think needs to be done.
Yeah. Do you do something? Are you part of some female networks? Or?
Yes, I'm part of the Technologic Advocates, and I also get a lot of invitations to speak and to participate, to network. So I go out as much as I can, but I don't believe in just operating within the female segment. I believe we all network together, and then the best comes out of it.
Yeah. So Rikke, here at the end, if you should give just a few advices to new starters.
Well, just go. Do it. Go after the Nike slogan. Don't sit there and think about a lot of things, because you can try things out for small money. I think if you want to do a product-based business, that's more capex intensive, so that'll be more expensive. But if you have a digital idea, perhaps you can start that way, and you can see how it fares. Quickly do get a MVP up and running and try to see if anybody is willing to buy. Don't sit there and overthink things. That's what I'll say.